Hey everybody, just letting you know I'm still working on the 389. I've been moving stuff around in here, but this is what my project is right now. I'm working on this 89 Avanti. It's a rag top. There weren't a lot of them made. I bought it a long time ago and there's a long story behind it, but I want to get this thing up and running and enjoy it before I break on through to the other side, you might say. And here's what's going on with it right now. Just so you know, these cars, Studebaker made them 63 to 64, and when they went out of business, they sold them to a guy, Newman Altman Brothers, and they made them for a while. They bought the rights to the Avanti, and then they sold it to some other guy, and he made them for a while. Then they sold them to the third and final shop. There's another place making them now, but they don't look like these. And they cost so much money, it's nuts. And I don't even know if they're making them. But anyways, the guy that made these came out of Ohio. And they were built on, the body was put on basically a Chevy Caprice. So this is like you'd say an 89 Chevy Caprice with the Avanti body. So where am I at? Well, I've been working on these because, well, the doors used to shut, but they'd hit that jam there and kalonk, and they wouldn't shut. You probably know what I'm talking about, but it was because the jams here, you see how that goes up and it snaps back down? Well, they weren't snapping back down. So what I did to fix it, I pulled them out and I just soaked them in that little ingredients that I make using WD-40 liquid detergent, soap, and gasoline, and then, scrubbed them and cleaned them up, and presto, they're working fine again. Both doors were messed up. So one problem solved. Didn't cost me nothing. Next problem is the windows. None of the windows were working except for this one right here. And like I said, it's all Chevy Caprice. And to get the window motors out, I had to take and drill holes with a hole saw. You know what I mean. And bzz, bzz, bzz. And then I could get the motor out. And I'm looking at these things and they're not Chevy. They're actually for Chrysler LeBarons, like 1985, you could say. So I got this out, and this one here would go down, but it wouldn't go up. And I pulled it all apart, and this wheel is kind of screwed up. So I'm going to have to replace the wheels. And the runners, whatever you want to call them, that they go up and down. I mean, this window nothing's holding it up. Nothing. It doesn't slide down. I've opened and closed the door 25 times, and it doesn't even budge an inch. It's so filthy in there. I don't know how it got that bad. And it's just kind of weird. But I got this thing working now, so it's going up and down just fine. But I still need a new one of these gears. It's the switches. All the switches are totally screwed up now. This switch here now works, it works like new. And I'm going to show you. I took them apart. They're real easy to take apart, and I cleaned it all up. And after I did that, I mean, when I opened this thing up, I don't know how much dirt and garbage could have gotten in there the way it did, but it was just packed. It was like incredible. The other two that I've opened up weren't as bad. The other one I just did actually was for this window, which I said does go up and down. And then I got another one off over here. And I'm going to show you the difference. They just put them in here. Nothing hold them in. They just pop right out. These cars, I mean, that's what they had in there, just like that. They didn't even put any electric tape around that to like seal it up a little bit. It's amazing. Just going down the road bumping. I'm surprised they didn't fall through. I saw in there, somehow there's a cigarette lighter in there and a quarter in there. I'm going to fish them out later. Maybe the quarter's still good. I don't know about the cigarette lighter. Yeah, this window's hanging down a little bit. But I think I'm going to be able to get these windows going up and down without spending a fortune. And that's always a good thing. So let me show you what these toggle switches look like apart, one before and one after. Hold on, we're heading into the garage. Okay, I hope you can see this good, but there's an after. You know, I cleaned them all up, and the switches come apart very easy, and that's the number on it. In case you've got to get the same thing and the numbers on yours are worn away, because this is like the best one. The other ones are kind of hard to read, but if you look inside there, and this one doesn't look nearly as bad as the other one did. And then you can see how those points look, how I clean them compared to those. The biggest thing about these is the parts are small, and I am what you'd call a butterfingers, so I have a tendency to drop things and can never find them again, so I'm a little nervous doing this. But anyways, let me tell you a little story about this car, and then I'll let you all go. Hold on. Okay, just you probably heard me tell this story before, maybe you haven't, but when I was a kid, like 12 years old, me and my friends were hanging around the corner store, and it was early in the morning, and we hear this like rumbling sound, and we look, and there's an Avanti coming down the street. None of us had ever seen one before. It was all white, and it pulled right up to the front of the store that we're hanging out in front of, and the guy gets out of it, and he's a green beret, full dress uniform. And back in 1964, a green beret was, like, wow. Us kids had never seen a green beret before, and we'd never seen an Avanti before. And I said, man, I want one of those cars. I want one of those cars so bad. And then years later, like I guess it was around 1996, 97, I seen the car I got out in the backyard there go by, and I didn't know they had made convertibles. And I said, wow, that's an Avanti, but it can't be because it's a convertible. But I chased the lady down that was driving it, and she happened to say, yeah, she's selling the car. And we made a deal, and I bought it. And I've driven it very limited. When I first got it from her, I drove a little bit. Then I did some work on it. And then I drove it some more. And I've had it to a couple car shows, but it hasn't been on the road now for, I'm going to say, 8, 10 years. It's been sitting there, and when things sit, you know what happens. But that's kind of the story. That the woman that had it, how she got it, is really crazy story. And maybe I think I've told that one before too, but I'm not going to go there today. And I just want to get this thing and get a chance to drive it again. Yeah, I did belong to the club for a little while, but the fee, it was like expensive, and I wasn't going to be going to any of their events because it isn't, it just, I quit spending money, but the magazines are cool, and I dragged them out again. I'm going to look through them, and maybe I can find some hints to do some more work on it. The top on the rag top, it needs a new top. The interior is kind of shot. The thing's shabby, but it's cool too. It's got like 79,000, which is actually kind of high mileage because I see a lot of them for sale for real low miles. It's like people bought them and never drove them. Anyways, everybody, thanks for watching and have a great day.